Okay, let's unpack this next section. Picture Braga, the Augustan capital. Normally, it's just buzzing, right? A hive of activity.
Yes, totally.
But now, imagine it, just hushed. There's this really unnatural stillness hanging over everything.
Creepy.
And the people, they're moving with this strange, almost synchronized quality. You feel it, you know?
Yeah.
Something unseen, something powerful has got a grip on the city.
Yeah, and what's really striking is the escalation here. We've seen localized stuff before with Muriel,
Right.
but the silence of an entire capital city that
Yeah.
signals a big jump in Abaddon's reach, his influence, it's spreading.
Exactly. And that's really the core of what we're diving into today, chapters 12 through 17. This is a seriously pivotal block of the story.
Absolutely.
This is where the fight with Abaddon just ramps up dramatically. We see these huge leaps in Muriel's powers, new alliances forming.
And new threats, too. Much
Yeah.
bigger than before.
Definitely. Things get way more significant.
If you look at the whole narrative arc, these chapters are just foundational. They help us get a handle on the real scale of the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just single fights anymore. It's hitting entire regions, entire societies. And we also get a much, much deeper dive into Bravado itself.
Yeah, the power system.
Right. Its nature, how complex it is.
So our mission for this deep dive really is to pull out the most important insights from these specific chapters. We want to give you, the listener, a clear sense of the stakes which are climbing fast, Muriel's progress, which is pretty amazing, and the huge challenges ahead for her and, well, everyone with her. Let's get started.
Okay, so first up, Garam. Why this tranquil little coastal town? What makes it a target for Abaddon now?
Chapter 12 throws us right into it, doesn't it? This peaceful seaside place is suddenly under siege,
Yeah.
and not by regular soldiers, but by these grotesque, corrupted things, leftovers from Abaddon's heraldic experiments.
It's a nasty image. Serene coast, then these nightmare creatures.
Totally jar. And then Marcus the Elder shows up here. He's interesting, described as a warrior scholar.
That duality, yeah.
And his warning to Muriel is key. He says Abaddon isn't just attacking places. He's specifically going after her connection to her heralds.
Right. That makes it so much more personal. He's trying to isolate her, weaken her right at her core. It's a targeted strategy.
Precisely. And then Abaddon himself arrives. The way he's described getting more monstrous. It really shows his power growing, probably feeding off these corrupted experiments or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the real gut punch is how he talks about Lilith's death. So cruel. He says, and this line just hits hard, "She was strong, I'll admit, but in the end, even the strongest clay crumbles."
Oof. That's calculated. Pure emotional damage, trying to break her spirit.
It is. But Muriel's reaction, it shows how strong she really is. She's
Yeah.
obviously in pain, but she absolutely refuses to let him desecrate Lilith's memory.
Yeah, that inner resilience, that refusal to just give in to despair becomes such a core part of her character, doesn't it? We see it again and again.
We do. And here's where things get really compelling. This intense emotion, Abaddon's vicious taunt, it flips a switch. It's the catalyst.
For the transformation.
Yes. She invokes the Sephiro Malkuth, Yesod, High, Cheesed, Ain, and what emerges is just, wow, the Technicolor Dreamcoat?
That sounds amazing.
It's depicted as this radiant mantle, wings, flowing energies. It's this powerful symbol of her being unified with the heralds.
And it's more than just symbolic, right? It has a function.
Totally.
Yeah.
It lets her harmonize the powers of all the Sephiroth she's bonded with. It's like she's internalized that core idea of her journey, unity, working together.
Like she's becoming a conductor for all that power.
Exactly. Amplifying her strength massively. It lets her actually stand up to Abaddon directly, which she couldn't really do before.
Okay, so that leads into the big clash in Garam.
Yeah, and it's epic. We see her using the combined heraldic powers really strategically. Jericho's shield for defense,
Crucial defense, yeah.
Cornucopia's gospel to empower her allies, healing light, fixing the town.
So she's defending, supporting, and healing. Yeah. Multitasking.
Right. And then the pivotal moment she merges with her herald. The text really points towards Bull, though it doesn't explicitly say the name here.
Gotcha.
And that merged power delivers the final attack that actually forces Abaddon to retreat.
Wow, he retreats. That's huge. Abaddon, who seemed almost unbeatable before.
It is huge. It shows how fast Muriel's potential is growing, the kind of power she's starting to wield.
So the chapter ends.
How?
It ends with Muriel on this cliff, looking out over the ocean, and she makes this vow. It's powerful, really personal. Her fight isn't just for Akasha anymore.
It's bigger now.
It's for everyone Abaddon has hurt, and she decides then and there to head north, towards the next Sephiroth. That resolve is palpable. Okay, so Abaddon's pushed back for now, but the threat is obviously still massive. What's next for the team?
Well, we get a couple of really important intermission chapters next. They give us some needed context and character depth. The first one focuses on Heimei.
Right. He wasn't feeling great after the Abaddon encounter, was he?
Not at all. He's really wrestling with feeling inadequate, weak. That fight clearly shook him.
Understandable.
And this internal struggle leads to someone new showing up, Kairos Tenkin.
The swordsman.
Yeah, retired but still legendary. He just arrives and offers to train Azra. And his first assessment of Azra's fighting. It's sharp. He says, "You swing like a man trying to scare away crows, not one aiming to strike at the heart of his enemy."
Ouch. Brutal honesty, but probably what Azra needed to hear.
Probably. Kairos' whole philosophy is about control and precision above everything else.
Which is like the opposite of Ezra's usual style, right?
Yeah.
He's more instinctive, more power-focused.
Exactly. Kairos is teaching him that real strength isn't just brute force, it's focused intent, purpose.
And the core of this training is the Blaze of Life technique.
That's the one. It's about channeling all that fiery bravado Azra has.
Which is a lot.
A lot. But channeling it with meticulous control into one single devastating strike. It's a big shift in how Azra thinks about fighting.
And we see him training.
Yeah, there's this great training montage sequence focusing on breath control to find that center. Really intricate blade precision stuff, like hitting targets without disturbing fragile things nearby.
Wow, okay.
Even mastering the heat of his own blade, holding it at its hottest, but with control.
So it's all about cultivating a different kind of mastery, transforming raw power into something focused, directed.
Exactly. And the final test is pretty gripping. There's this training dummy, and balanced on top is a delicate glass sphere.
Oh boy.
Azra has to slice the dummy clean through without even making the sphere wobble.
High stakes for training.
He does it, nails the blaze of life with incredible focus and precision.
Nice.
And Kairos' final words are really interesting. He says the technique isn't just about destruction, it's also about creation and protection.
Huh. That adds another layer. So Azra feels more ready now.
Definitely. He's got this renewed sense of purpose. It really hammers home how important discipline and focus are for honing your abilities.
Okay, so that's Azra's development. What's the other intermission?
The other one takes us to the Scholar of Calderia. The team arrives in this town, Calderia, which has this really unique vibe architecture.
Right.
And we meet Osvaldo Gustav. He's this wonderfully eccentric arcane historian.
Huh.
At first, he's totally lost in his books, but then he sees the Key of Enoch, learns about the Sephiroth, and he just lights up. His greeting is perfect. The High Priestess herself has graced my humble abode. You've certainly stirred up the bravado continuum more than anyone since the ancients.
He sounds like fun. And he explains bravado more.
He does. He becomes our guide to the deeper lore, explains its origins way back in the Age of Titans.
As a weapon against enslavers, wasn't it?
Exactly. A weapon of will. He clarifies its nature. It's a manifestation of inner spirit, resolve, emotion,
Yeah.
and it adapts to each person's soul differently. And crucially, he links it to the Sephiroth, saying they're like pinnacles of bravado mastery built to channel collective power.
That makes sense. So he's giving them the theory behind their powers.
Yeah, and he gives some really fascinating takes on each team member's bravado, too.
Oh, like what?
He tells Muriel hers isn't just bravado, it's bravado elevated to divinity because of the key.
Oh.
He describes Heimei's as this raging, unfocused fire fueled by anger, but warns him anger burns the vessel that holds it. Needs clarity.
Good advice. What about the others?
He senses Soraya's bravado is dormant now, but has immense potential. Says she could one day freeze the very heavens.
Whoa. Potential foreshadowing there.
Maybe. And he notes Nicola doesn't have bravado, but rightly points out her tech ingenuity more than makes up for it.
Yeah, she doesn't need bravado with those brains.
Yeah.
This analysis is great. It tells us about where they are now, but also hints at future growth, right?
Totally. Hints at how each of them can uniquely contribute.
But their chat gets interrupted, I assume.
Of course. Just as they're deep in lore, this corrupted relic beast attacks.
Always something.
And Osvaldo, even though he says, I'm a scholar, not a fighter,
Uh-huh.
he reluctantly jumps in, reminding them knowledge can be a weapon.
I like him. So the battle.
It's a great showcase of teamwork. Everyone uses their unique skills, and it really highlights how Nicola, even without bravado, is vital with her inventions.
Mm-hmm.
Osvaldo uses his own arcane relics too, amplifying their bravado.
Cool. So they win, but there's a catch.
Yeah, they win, but it's clear this corruption is spreading everywhere, a constant reminder of the threat.
Right.
But Osvaldo gives them some crucial stuff. The scroll showing the location of Netsac, the next Sephiro,
Okay, the next target.
and this super useful bravado detecting compass. Plus, really important advice, find allies.
Ah, the compass. That opens things up, doesn't it? They can actually seek out others with strong bravado now. Could shift the balance.
Exactly. So they leave Calderia with a much better grasp of their powers, renewed purpose. And there's this nice quiet moment from Soraya about Muriel. She says, that kid's got the weight of the world on her shoulders, but she's stronger than she looks.
Yeah, that captures Muriel well, her inner strength.
Okay, then we get another intermission. This one's a bit lighter, but still important. Gears of Brilliance focuses on Nicola.
Ah, the inventor.
Right. The Calderian Inventors Expo is announced, and Nicola is just instantly buzzing. She has to enter.
Of course she does. This chapter sounds like pure Nicola.
It is. It totally celebrates her eccentric genius, her passion. We see her unconventional methods, scavenging parts. Ball's constantly worried.
Huh. I can picture it.
So Ray is probably making sarcastic comments. But Muriel's supportive. And Nicola's muttering stuff like, overcome any obstacle, huh? What if the obstacle is everything?
Love it. And she builds something amazing.
She builds the Arcane Overcominator, just the best name.
Perfect. Is there a rival? There's always a rival in these things.
There is Lazarus Finch. He rolls up with this great Sherlock Holmes vibe and this amazing airship called the Deductionary.
Okay, that's brilliant. Deductionary.
Right. So it sets up this great dynamic between these two super smart, competitive inventors.
The showdown at the expo must be fun.
It's fantastic. They have different challenges, and you see their contrasting styles. Finch uses his established tech and expertise.
While Nicola probably improvises like crazy.
Exactly. Pure inventiveness. And she pulls off this thrilling last-minute win in a steam-powered rocket sled race.
Awesome.
But even with the rivalry, you see this grudging respect forming between them.
Setting up future stuff, maybe. Collaborations, more rivalries.
Could be. Plants those seeds. Okay, so after all the training, the lore, the Invention Expo, then they finally head to Braga.
Almost.
Yeah.
There's one more chapter, chapter 16, that slots in here. It actually revisits Azra and the Blaze of Life training.
Okay. So the earlier mention was like a teaser.
Seems like it. This chapter gives it more depth. We find Azra still in Calderia, still feeling the weight of that Abaddon fight.
Right, it clearly stuck with him.
And Kairos Tenkin comes back, continuing the intense training, really drilling down on those core ideas. Controlled precision, purposeful action.
So we get more detail on the exercises.
Yeah, a closer look at the focused breathing, the super careful blade work with the fragile objects, that demanding heat mastery. It really emphasizes Azra's dedication. He's struggling, but he's sticking with it.
Good. It reinforces that he's not just being taught, he's actively forging himself into something new, right? Getting ready for Abaddon round 2.
Exactly. He's internalizing it all.
Yeah.
Okay, now we finally get to chapter 17, Shadows over Braga, revised.
And the arrival is just unsettling. That unnatural stillness you mentioned earlier, the synchronized movements. Soraya nails the feeling right away. That's not the Braga I know. This place is usually packed with loudmouth merchants and scheming nobles. Something's wrong.
Sets the mood perfectly, and Marcus the Elder showing up again is huge.
Yeah, his presence confirms their fears. He explains it's Reverend Swim and his twisted truth controlling the city. Makes it clear how dangerous Swim's influence is.
And the depiction of the controlled city. It's just creepy. The synchronized people, that vendor giving out food with golden eyes.
Yeah. And Nicola's line is perfect dark humor. Free food. That's when you know something's wrong.
Huh? True. Then comes the sermon.
Reverend Swim himself, masked face, countless eyes, this booming, hypnotic voice. He's preaching this warped stuff about the mother of lies, Yaldabaoth.
Yaldabaoth.
The crowd's reaction is fervent. Reality itself seems to be bending. It's intense. And Marcus immediately identifies her. Yaldabaoth, the mother of lies.
So we're dealing with some ancient, really nasty entity here.
Seems like it. The confrontation moves to the temple, the atmosphere is oppressive, idols of Yaldabaoth everywhere. Swim is just dismissive when they arrive, says he's freeing the people, gonna show the team their place.
Arrogant. And then comes the illusion, right? The personal attacks.
Yeah, and it's brutal. Hits each of them right where it hurts most. Muriel sees Lilith's ghost accusing her.
Oh no.
Soraya relives failing Azra somehow. Azra sees spectral parents taunting him. Nicola watches her inventions fail catastrophically. It's psychological warfare, hitting their deepest fears.
That's terrifying. How do they break free?
Marcus, he resists. His inner strength is incredible. He uses his water bravado and recites this powerful psalm. The river carves the stone not by power, but by persistence. Othela, let the waters cleanse this corruption.
And water against lies. Persistence.
And it shatters the illusion, which leads directly into the final battle with Yaldabaoth herself.
Swim summons her herald form.
Yeah, this towering, multi-eyed horror, it takes everything they have working together. Muriel disrupts the connection between Swim and the herald.
Smart move.
Ezra hits hard with the blaze of life.
His training pays off.
Nicola uses her tech to amplify Marcus's water bravado.
See? Ingenuity is key.
And then Marcus delivers the final blow with another incredible song. The ocean does not rage, it endures. The tide does not falter, it returns. By this truth, I cast you out.
Chills. That's powerful imagery. Enduring truth overcoming lies.
Exactly. It's a massive, coordinated victory against a really powerful foe.
So the aftermath. Braga wakes up.
Yeah, the city slowly comes back to itself. There's relief, hope. But Marcus has this quiet piece of wisdom from Muriel. Truth doesn't need fanfare, princess. It just needs to endure.
A good reminder that the fight isn't over. Their resolve is still the most important thing.
Definitely. So, reflecting on this whole section, chapters 12 through 17, what are the big takeaways for you, the listener?
Well, first, a major escalation. Abaddon's influence spreading to control a whole city. That's a huge jump.
Right. And Muriel's transformation, that Technicolor Dreamcoat, isn't just flashy. It's a massive step up in her power and her understanding of unity with the Heralds.
Then there's Azra. His blaze of life training shows serious personal growth. He's honing his power with discipline, getting ready.
And we got that deep dive into Bravado, thanks to Osvaldo, understanding its origins, its link to spirit, how varied it is.
Don't forget Nicola. Her genius keeps proving indispensable. Shows that strength isn't just about bravado.
Good point. And finally, that tough win in Braga, it proves they can take down major heraldic threats when they work together, relying on that inner strength.
So for you listening, maybe think about this. What does that dreamcoat really mean for Muriel's power and her path forward?
Yeah, and how does knowing Bravado started as a tool against oppression change how we see this current fight?
What could Azra achieve now with that controlled blaze of life? What are the possibilities?
And Yaldabaoth, what does facing something called the Mother of Lies suggest about the scale of the forces they're really up against? Ancient, maybe cosmic forces?
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, the journey to Netzach is next.
Right. What new challenges are waiting for them there? Both external fights and, internal struggles.
And who might they find with that bravado compass? What kind of allies could change the game?
Good question.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. In this whole struggle against overwhelming odds, what's ultimately stronger? Is it raw external power like Abaddon seems to wield? Or is it that inner resilience, that enduring spirit, the strength they find in unity? These chapters really seem to keep asking that question.
Yeah, they really do. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.